We're back here on Boston has entered the chat. Why don't we bring in Revolution midfielder Matt Polster is now entering the chat. I know you've been around the block. You and Coach Marco have been back and forth, but I think we should call out Brooklyn Reigns, who we had on last week. He called you Unk. I know you've been in the MLS for a bit and played a ton of games, man. But welcome to the show. But how do you feel being somewhat the veteran on the team? I know Matt Turner's been around the block too, but they call you Unk, man. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, slightly disrespectful, slightly warranted. But they were even making fun of my cleats, my boots this morning. They're all ganging up on me now. It's not just Brooklyn, so I gotta be watching out here.
Damn, Matt. Hey, I watched a game with my kid. My kid's a diehard. He's a really good soccer player, diehard Revs fan. And we watched the game together, and we both kept saying the same thing. Where's the defense? I know the defense, you guys struggled against Nashville. How do you fix that is my question, Matt, because I'm going crazy yelling at the TV. I need you to help me out with this.
Totally. Yeah, no, I feel the same, obviously, in the moment. We give up really two early goals, a set piece, and then through the run of the play, I think the ball's like bouncing around a bit and they score, or that was the second and third. I'm not entirely sure, but at the end of the day, we had a game plan going in. It was kind of in a moment where you go down early and you need to stick to the game plan. I think we went away from it a little bit, us as players. And I think if we would have stuck to the game plan, I think our soccer would have come through and we would have played a lot better and the score wouldn't have reflected what that was. But we have a great team, a lot of good players. I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out going into New York.
That's actually reassuring to hear because I know everyone jokingly calls you Unk, right? But since you're a veteran, I feel as though defense is something that can be fixed as you go on, especially first-year head coach. You're doing a lot of stuff right now. You're trying to work out a lot of bugs in the armor, so to speak. Do you feel as though what needs to happen in terms of for you guys to play better defense? I know you talked about stick to the game plan. Is it just simply execution, or is there more of that?
I think it's execution. One thing we actually talked about quite a bit today was I thought the intensity was there, but when we got in moments that we could make plays and win our duels, we backed off a little bit and gave them too much respect. And when you do that in this league against good players like Hani Mukhtar, Suric, you'll get punished for it. So today was quite intense. It was about defending. It was about getting stuck into tackles and making it difficult. And I think that's what you're going to see a lot of going into the New York game.
Having worked with Marco in the past during your time in Chicago, do you take a little bit of the responsibility in trying to relay his message to your teammates? Obviously, the Unk joke, you're one of the elder statesmen. You've been around for a while. Can you take your past experiences and kind of relay it to some of the younger guys? You're playing next to Brooklyn Reigns, very young player, a guy who is talented but doesn't have the minutes that you have out there. So what is that dynamic like, I guess, for you?
Yeah, I've taken that on. I know Marco, obviously, from a previous in Chicago, and we had a good relationship. And then coming here with any coach, as a veteran player, any veteran in any team, you want to relay the message that the coach is asking to be withheld within the group. And then there's a standard that comes with that. And then holding players and giving the experience that I have as a player in tough moments like we did against Nashville and try and, reflect on it, but then bounce back in a positive way going into the next game.
Hey, Matt, just thinking about your time with a lot of changes, how have you adjusted? And there's a lot of young guys and a couple of veterans as well. How does that dynamic work? I know you said that they kind of get on you at practice, but on the field, do you hold those guys accountable? How does that work out? I know you have the coach, but do you also hold these guys accountable and pull them aside? How does that dynamic work with younger and older players?
Yeah, I think, there's a level of, you don't want to, after a mistake, just go after players because everybody makes mistakes. But I think if they continually make the same mistake, that's when it becomes an issue where, we have to bring it up and we have to talk about it, discuss it, and then make up for those issues. But that's something that comes even with young players holding older players accountable. I don't think it's, okay, the veteran guys, yes, have to hold the standard and push the group, but it's a team game where if I'm not playing at the standard that's expected, it would be fine with me that Brooklyn comes and says, hey, Matt, you need to play better in these moments. You need to complete these passes, because me playing at my best in Brooklyn and Carles and everybody, that means we're going to win more games. It's not where, it's just us focusing on the young players and holding them to standard. I think it's amongst the entire group.
Matt, another roadie for you now against this team, a rival at that. I wonder, as a veteran, do you prefer these roadies to kind of start the season? Would you rather be at home? Or do you just not care? Roll the damn ball out. We play where we play.
Yeah, for me, I don't think it matters anymore. MLS has become such it's a lot of parity within the league. And I mean, outside of, the Miami, I think there's quite a lot of parity. And no matter where you play and the travel now, it's not that much of a difference. I do think at times you can get in a spell at home where you're feeling really good, which is a great feeling. But there's also spells where you can go on the road and you feel invincible, and you know that at the end of the day, the home team has to win, and you can kind of spoil the party, and that's a good feeling. So it goes both ways.
One of the changes that will be made, a little bit of grass at Gillette Stadium. First time since 2006 that they're introducing that. What is the difference for you? And then obviously, because the grass is because of the World Cup coming, just overall having them play World Cup games in your home stadium, what is that going to be like? Obviously, you're going to be watching, rooting along just like the rest of us. What is the difference between playing on turf versus grass, and how much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, there's definitely a difference. It's at the end of the day, I understand why we have turf at Gillette long term. I get it. The events that are played there, it makes a ton of sense in the concert. So, but the difference is you can notice it. At the end of the day, the way the ball bounces, the way the ball skips, there are little moments where they are different. But we train on grass every day. We only play our games on turf, so we will be well acclimated for playing on grass. But it's exciting for the World Cup to be here. I don't think people realize how big an event that is. It obviously only comes every 4 years, and to have it being played in our backyard is fantastic. So I'm really excited to see what kind of fans and cultures that come all across the world to play here. It's gonna be awesome.
Matt, you guys just started literally a 2-year run for the game of soccer, right? I know the World Cup's coming, but there's changes to the MLS and the season, et cetera. So, how do you feel about that? Are you excited about those changes? The weather? Imagine snow games. It could be very interesting, man.
That's definitely something that first came to thought for me. I think the teams in California are going to be okay.
Right.
I think us in this region, it's going to be difficult. Obviously, you're gonna adjust and deal with those types of adversities. But we do have a region that you can get hit with snow pretty hard, like we're noticing right now. I hope we don't ever experience this again, but I'm sure it's difficult. And those things, those are weather conditions you can't really play through at moments. I don't know if we were to have a game this weekend or had a game during the Nashville weekend, I don't know if you can play through that. It's interesting to see if they can clear the field and the pitch in time. So,
do you shovel your own car?
What's funny is with you guys in Boston or Massachusetts, you guys don't use your garages. It's very normal for me to use a garage, so I don't shovel my car ever. I just shovel the driveway.
Smart man, yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
Hey, listen,
shoveling.
In Boston here, athletes have shoveled and hurt themselves and couldn't play in games. That's a fact. So I'm glad you got that garage and they took care of you over there. Well, at least you don't have to worry about it, though. Some guys are still digging out 30 inches. But, Matt, appreciate you joining us, man. We're going to have the Revs on all year long. I know you got a big game this Saturday night versus the New York Red Bulls. Appreciate your time, man. Best of luck with the Revs, and keep the yunk going. Hold those guys in line, will you?
Yeah, man. I can't have them clowning me anymore, as the kids would say, whatever that is. So
he's Matt.
Thank you guys for having me.
You got it. He's Matt Polster. Everybody, Revolution midfielder joining us here on Boston has entered the chat.
Good people. I like him. He did shovel. He was willing to shovel.
I love getting to know all these guys because we find out little things. He's a gamer. I wonder if he was playing the game while he was talking to us. I was going to ask which one.
He shut the phone off and he went right to the video game right after.
Absolutely.
That's how you got to do it.